Welcome to the Strategy Optimizer tutorial. Just a quick note before we look at the program itself. When you download the zip file, there will be a file as part of the zip file called .NET 3.5, which should be installed prior to the installation of the Strategy Optimizer program. Now onto the program itself. When it first starts, you need to firstly review the default values for from and to dates, and also the time frame required. With the from date, it will generally be set at 3 months prior to the beginning of this current month. So in this particular situation, it starts at the 1st of February and finishes at today's date, being the 24th of May. If you have the 2015 data download, you'll realise that the data will cover you in this situation. It may end on the 30th of April, but even if this to date is set at the 24th of May, that is not a problem. It will just simply only review data up to the 30th of April. So we'll go ahead and select some data. Now, if you're in a particular directory, it will only display applicable files. In this case, comma-separated value files. So I have a page here with just the 7 majors. We'll go ahead and select the first one, which is AUD USD. Now as the data loads, you'll see the progress bar move across the page. It's checking the integrity of the data. And on completion, you'll have the full file name, a success message, and the prompt to start optimization when inputs are completed. Now by default, the RSI strategy is enabled and the first 3 boxes are ticked, and there's 4 boxes over here ticked. Now for the purposes of a demo, that's all you need to do is to just load the data and press the start optimization, which is what we're going to do here. This optimization won't take a moment, and as we go through it, you can see the progress once again. It may stop periodically on 99%, but as you can see, it's a very small delay. Now on completion, you get all your graphical data. Over here on the left hand side, you have a list of the best performing optimizations. By default, the top one is selected, but be mindful of the fact that whilst that might be the maximum balance, the drawdown figures may fluctuate, and it may be more appropriate to select something with a lower drawdown. We're just lucky in this situation that the drawdown with the top optimization is only 9%. And over here is your equity graph as you step through the dates. Underneath that you have the wins and losses, the green being the wins and naturally the red losses, and a similar presentation in the pie chart to the right. Underneath, the ratio of buy trades to sell trades, and to the right of that a list of performances with trades opening on particular days of the week. You can see here that Thursday was the best day to open a trade. If we click on show hour of day, you can see that there is a standout of trades opening at it looks like 8 AM, and that of course is MetaTrader time. Over to the right, correction to the left of that, we have the statistics for the highlighted trade up here. And in this particular situation, opening balance 10,000, closing balance 25,944, so a profit of 15,900 odd. And a bit further down, we have 48 trades. There were 26 wins, 22 losses, and that gives us a percentage win of 54%. What I'm going to do is we're going to bring up the actual trades that were performed. So as long as you have the optimization that you wish to look at highlighted, you can then click on the show trades button. Now in this particular situation, when you highlight a particular trade, the candlestick graph and the RSI graph will pop up on the right hand side. So we have here on the 5th of February a sell trade, and looking at this situation, the X marks the spot where the trade took place, and you can see the RSI passing through the top level. Now the top level given by the optimization is the 70% percent line. So here is the red line marking 70%. So the trade gets opened there. That corresponds with that X. Now let's look at another one. We might go down a bit and see if we can find a buy trade. Here's a buy trade. Once again, we've got the reverse happening. We've got the RSI lining passing through the minimum level and the corresponding trade there. So you can look at any trade simply by scrolling up and down and highlighting whatever trade you need. To hide the trades and go back to the original optimization screen, just press the Hide Trades button. Now we do have an option to save any particular optimization. This one's the highlighted one, so we'll go ahead and save it for the example. We click on Save Set File. Now this is going to open the same directory as your data, and I would suggest that with the standard version that you simply save it in the same directory. The CSV files will not show up because this is only listing set files, so we'll go ahead and save that. In future, when we run this particular program, we can load that set file back in and return to this particular point. Now we'll cover that in another video because there are a few considerations extra to take into account. Let's go back to our input screen, and to do that we click on the Show Inputs button. And we're back to where we set up the original optimization. Now I mentioned that these are the default values, but let's just say that we want to introduce a few more factors. So I'm going to optimize the set stop loss to break even, minimum pip gain, and decrease stop loss percentage. So having ticked these extra boxes, we can then go back and redo this particular optimization. It will be a little bit slower this time because we'll reintroduce 3 more variables, but we'll go ahead and do that. So in this particular situation, you can see that the progress bar is a little bit slower, but we'll take this opportunity to look at some of the options that we do have. This is a tabbed panel, this one here, and there are 12 strategies and 9 filters, so a total of 21. So this is going to extend much wider than this particular panel, hence the left and right arrows. And they can be, any of those can be selected. Just bear in mind that if you select many more than 2 of them, it's just going to slow down this optimization dramatically. Now, as the optimization is taking place, these variables will change, and you can see them changing down here as the optimization takes place. Similarly over here, any of these tick values will be varying. There is the calculation range. We don't need a step like MT4 because Strategy Optimizer works out its own steps. It is a genetic optimization, and we're just about getting towards the end of the optimization now. So that wasn't too bad, but you can see that from memory we're about 27,000 before. By ticking the extra 3 boxes, we've got that value up to 35,000. So that is the whole point of optimization. You're looking at the variables which can improve the return. Of course, this is past performance. It doesn't predicate the future, but it gives you a starting point. And you've probably heard me discuss on the forum that you can pick the eyes out of all these optimizations, and certainly starting next month you're going to have more than enough optimizations and more than enough opportunity to review what performs and what doesn't, as we do see at the moment with the CCI volume strategy. So once again, we can go back, we can save that set file if we like the look of it. The drawdown on that one's 8%. Let's have a look at this one. This one was only 32,000, but the drawdown is significantly less. And you can see that there are very few dips. There's a little dip there, but that probably represents the maximum drawdown, which is, as I said, only 5%. So that just about completes this tutorial. We'll go into the opening and saving of set files in a little bit more detail. Just one quick thing before I finish. We'll go back to Show Inputs. I'm going to click on this Easy Mode button because the Easy Mode gives us a summary of all the tabs. And you can see there when I press the Easy Mode, a lot of these inputs have disappeared, but the important things are still there. And that is a summary of all the tabs. And you can see that we've got the RSI ticked, And over here we've just got a minimum of information. We've got the stop loss ticked and these other items ticked, but basically it's just a simplified method of input. Anyway, more on that in the next tutorial, and thank you for listening.